In this video, we're going to look at the aftermath of one of the worst flooding events in the city of Leominster's history here in Massachusetts. Now, before we get to it, we're not going to look at everything because a lot of what could be fixed easily has been fixed. But we are going to look at one because it's close to home. We will attempt to get to ground zero where the worst of the worst happened. And ever since I stopped doing some political videos on this channel, I've steered clear of it, but I kind of need to bring this up because the far leftist enviro-Nazis, well, that's what they're called. I was trying to find another word, but anyway, as soon as even when the waters were still raging, never mind as soon as it was over, they started chirping that this is the worst thing that's ever happened in the city's history in terms of flooding, and that this has never happened before. While they may be correct on the second half, and we'll get to that a little later, they're wrong on the fact that it never happened before. Sometime in the late 18th, I should be on this side really, sometime in the late 1800s or in the early 1900s, the exact same thing happened before. I was hoping that the Leominster history books that I had pictures of that, as I've seen pictures online, and it did not cover it, or it was paragraphs, which I didn't have the time to go look through. But there were pictures of the Great Hurricane of 38. But it has happened before, and to point out the part where they were right is that back when it happened, the city was nowhere near as big, and it wasn't sprawled out anywhere near as far. So who knows how much damage really happened, and can you compare it? This is being done on Saturday as Tropical Storm Lee is glancing us, but we're not supposed to get rain, but it's supposed to be a little windy, not terribly bad. So I'm using what I call the pin cam, and the one I generally use for construction videos, because it's the best at filtering out wind noise. It's not perfect, but it does the best job. The phone, it makes the smallest tame breeze sound like an EF3 tornado ripping through. So use a camera that makes the wind sound not as bad as it truly is. Yeah, I'm now making it sound with the winds worse, but I think you get the idea. So, like I said, I don't like putting political stuff in my channel since a long time ago, but yeah, the leftists got it right because we're much more sprawled out and there's many more neighborhoods, but they got it wrong that it's never happened before. So we're going to check the one thing that probably has been fixed, because cars are going that way, so it has to have been. Like I said, pardon the wind noise, Lee is around. Anyway, yeah, this is an example of what I thought is something that probably was easily fixed, or in this case, nothing really happened outside of flooding. But yeah, right here at this street, for a minute I thought it happened also This is Lancaster. I thought back behind me at Grant was also affected, but apparently it wasn't. But we are a couple feet low here, and sure enough, tributary. There was some damage. They patched and fixed it. But this whole area where the Dollar Tree is was under 2 feet of water at least. In fact, you can kind of see the water line. Although it never really went all the way up the wall, but you can see where the water line generally was. Although it probably did get wet up there from large vehicles passing on through. Again, doesn't look like much, but there was erosion there. The road had to be repaired. I'm surprised that's all that happened there. And same goes for other places around here where there were some erosion and it's been fixed, so no point of showing it. Although I don't know if this had anything to do with it. This seems a little high up. But what might have happened is the rains probably have completely eroded away, done some damage here. This would be unrelated to the flooding itself. I mean, it is the same storm, it is the same rain. It might even pour out of this wall and help fill out the street a little bit. It might have been a thing that's been there all this time and I'm just not noticing it till now. Anyway, yeah, this might have been either damage from just the rain itself or it's been happening over time. Anyway, let's go see something else. Union and Litchfield. We still have a problem here. This is getting towards the somewhat heading towards ground zero and a biggie. Anyway, we got the warning sign there. But this is what there's a lot of. Road missing, ground missing. A little bit of a compromise on this side as well. We got this roped off. A little bit of a drop here. Yeah, it crumbled slightly here. Better safe than sorry to block it off. And we got another minor. And then we get to a big one. This is literally on the way to one of the big ones. So I said I wasn't going to show you things that have been more or less fixed, but like I said, we're heading towards one of the big ones. This area, bottom of Sylvan Ave, was under a few feet of water. And apparently these houses here had, their yards are underwater. You can kind of see the dirt there, debris here. It's mostly been cleaned up. I've been here after the flood and there was debris everywhere. And water was coming out of that manhole and resting there. They got a dumpster. They must have flooded. Had a couple inches here and there in my uneven basement. And I live somewhat on top of a hill, so in that regard I wasn't exactly lucky. But in terms of the flood itself, very lucky. Because people had it worse. Some even with literally no basements left. I mean, literally house dangling in the air. And speaking of, if we can get close enough, we'll see that. Because, like I said, we're heading towards a biggie, and that's one of them. Yeah, this is as far as we can go. Technically, I was behind the line. The wind blew it. But, yeah, we couldn't go any further anyway because I forgot. The street, even right there, is compromised. It's all blocked off. And right behind there, you can't see it, but there's a house with half a foundation. So I gotta find another way around to get to where the worst of the worst has happened. Yeah, we got a few sinkholes there. But Pond Street, the road I wanted to take to get to, hopefully where you can see where the most happened, we're able to get pretty much right up to what I was trying to show you. So, probably won't see it too clearly, and that's fine, but we should definitely be able to see what's going on. Because they literally got it blocked right at where it happened almost. And we got people stalling to take a look. Can you blame them? Alright, this is as far as we could get, and this is obviously good enough. Oh yeah, now that I'm seeing it, it's just yikes. Yeah, this house was badly compromised. Anyway, too far. The road just completely caved in. Look at the front of the house. It's been badly compromised. There's literally no foundation under that part. And trip over a barrier. Even though I'm behind the line. Yeah, maybe over here. Kind of see the roads completely washed out. Yeah, that's terrible. The main house is still there. That looks like it might have been an addition. So, yeah, we got to see what we're trying to see. Yeah, I don't like seeing what I saw. What a shame. Odd, where the worst of the worst happened, is actually accessible. This neighborhood, where we've done construction videos in that place and that place, especially that place with its sunken parking lot, had 5 feet of water in it. And that's because I know someone who lives there. Maybe this was spared. Actually, I don't think it was. I think this was flooded as well. You can kind of see the dirt and the wind blowing things around because this has dropped down considerably, but it severely overflowed its banks. Yeah, they cleaned this up. It's almost as if nothing happened, but I'm sure the people living in these basement apartments are not happy. And there's the Ivory Keys. Almost looks like nothing has ever happened, which kind of a good sign, I guess. Thing is, it's hard to see where the water level was, but right about up to, pictures I've seen, the water at the front doors there was up to the handles. We're at the low spot, 5 feet. The basement, everything, apparently they have storage in the basement. Again, I know someone who lives there, and everything got destroyed. I don't know if that's the water line, but it's hard to tell. There is no water line. Hard to imagine. This area was really badly hit. It almost made it, or maybe it might have at one point made it partway into the first floor, not sure. Which means this area flooded. Yeah, you're not going to see much of anything. We'll continue on. Oh no! Wyman's Liquors, they got hit. Well, the people with the booze gonna do? Yeah, they're still open. But here we are downtown, and it almost looks like nothing has happened because they did such a good job cleaning up. Although, if I can get across, and I can. Well, it looks like this place got hit. Oh, no, it didn't. It's just not open. For a minute, it looked like something was not right. All right, let's cross back if we can. But yeah, Wyman's, they got a little cleaning up to do, but they're still open. Yeah, it looked like very quick recovery. From video I've seen from someone I know who lives in this area, the water was maybe like a foot or so through downtown. Maybe that's a water line right there. I'm going over here because there's people that are literally right at that window. So it looks like there is a water line. And it matches up with the video I've seen. Next thing to do is, the wood block got hit. Let's see what the area behind looks like. This could be the wind today. Their fence, they wind up getting destroyed every year. The wind's not really blowing that hard. I mean, 30 miles an hour tops, perhaps. But yeah, of course, they're cleaned up, although you see a bunch of dirt there. The floor inside, it looks like they've cleaned it up. There is something further up, the Tilton Cook building, which holds a flea market, that was severely destroyed. It may have to be demolished. There's debris. They're still airing it out. Not going to really hang around and yeah, you can see through the windows here. Yeah, you can see through the windows they've removed the drywall. Hard to see on that one, but yeah, that's roughly where the water line was in this area. Fortunately, or if you want to say that, they were on the back end, so not as much water, but still, yeah, you can see where it's been removed. But it's not the worst thing. Let's go over this way. And how much further down, hard to see, but yeah, this bridge caved in on that side. The Manusnock Brook sign is down. The sidewalk is buckled that way. Hard to get it all in. They patched that part of it up. But we still have something more this away to show you, depending on how close we can get. This is probably the worst news of them all, is this whole Tilton Cook flea market building may have to come down. It has been severely compromised. Yeah, they get it all roped off. And of course we will respect our borders. Yeah, they got it all closed off here. This is the loading dock that collapsed. Like I said, we're not going to go any further than this fence. Even though there's an opening, we are respecting it. It definitely was some major damage. We'll go another direction. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to see anything. It's not buried on the back end, but they are working on it. I don't know if they're going to ever reopen. Looks like they have. Well, this side of the Tilton Cook might be okay. Yeah, I can't really see what's going on. And there it is. Well, there's the collapse. If we're just allowed to move now, that would be great. Apparently they had a installation. Probably shouldn't be speeding there. Yeah. I don't want to get them going, so this is as close as we're getting. But yeah, that collapsed. And part of the building is collapsing behind it. We can't get close enough to see that. And let's see how much further we can go. It's starting to rain more, so I'm not sure how much more we're going to be able to show you. This is the area where I saw a video where the water was easily over a foot. Probably a few feet over there. Several, actually. Well, I wasn't expecting that one. Yikes. The river run through it. This was not what we were going to show you. The last area we're going is the high school and slightly beyond it. Apparently, during the peak of the floods, people were trapped here because this was washed. This was over its banks. And you couldn't get out of here at all. Plus there's another bridge over there that's fine. There was probably flood going over it as well, because they had to stay here for the night because of how bad the weather got. So I think on the opposite end there was a washout, and I don't know how if they fixed it. They probably did. We'll show it. I'm not going to go up, but I'm assuming there's some flood-related damage there, because or it's construction, I'm not sure. But I see a lot of cleanup going on here. I don't know. That field was suspect even when I was in high school 30 years ago. Anyway, over to this end. There were also a bunch of other little sinkholes and fills that have been done along the way. It wasn't worth stopping to show every single one of them. So, off to the other end of where Granite Street is, and I think they might have fixed it. But there was a massive washout there. I'll show you, fixed or not, and then we're going to end it. Well, the great washout, it ain't where I thought it was. That's not it, though. But there's something going on up here. I don't know if it's worthy or not. Let's find out. Yeah, that's all we're going to show you. There are a couple of places that I would like to, but if it ever were to rain hard at this point, being that the meat of the storm is now starting to come overhead, well, the glancing blow, that is, it might open up. So there's two that I might include pictures if I can credit the source. There was the North Leominster incident where the MBTA station is, just a little further up towards Fitchburg on Hamilton Street, a huge chunk of the railroad bed washed away, washed down the street, and did major flood damage to homes along that area. And then I guess somewhere along 117 or Lancaster Street, well, two things. One, they patched a road that a guy literally fell into driving his SUV. And a pair of homes, and I think it's just, there's no infrastructure that failed that took them. And a couple of homes that their entire front lawns collapsed and might have, and one of them did lose part of their foundation. If I can find pictures that I can credit the ones who shot him, of course, give him the credit. Yeah, while things are good, I just want to get home. I got things to do anyway. Yeah, in fact, as soon as I start talking, it's starting to pick up slightly. Anyway, that's everything that I can show you, whether it's been fixed, in process, or in some cases still broken or gone. Although that house where the front was dangling, they can probably rebuild that part. It looks like the rest of the foundation's there, just by keen observation. Anyway, that'll be it. And this is George F551 signing off for this video.